Have you ever wondered what's behind the sound of a car speeding past at night? You've probably thought something like, he's just tired of life, or someone's looking for a thrill. But have you ever wondered why anyone drives so fast in the first place? We'll be heading to the Horizon Festival to find the answer. For 14 years, it has been traveling the world, bringing with it music, speed, adrenaline, and the roar of vengeance. People come there to feel alive. But there is a flip side to this event. Among all those having fun and competing, there are those who race alone at full speed through the tunnel, hoping that the howl of the engine will drown out their inner pain. They hope that the roar of the engine will, if only for a moment, drown out the silence that is slowly killing them from the inside. Everyone copes with this state in their own way. For some, the best option is to take a slow, reflective approach. Others, at this point, are naturally drawn to distract themselves from these thoughts by any means necessary. One of these methods is adrenaline, and sometimes the easiest way to feel something again is to get too close to the edge. When you've experienced something bad and painful, you want to feel alive again. In such moments, you're competing with three things at once: with fear, with death, and with yourself. If you overestimate yourself, one wrong move or action will allow death to easily win this race. If fear wins, you'll remain living in the past, in dreams that never came true. You'll be a ghost of who you really could have been. But if you win, you'll never be the same again. You'll no longer look back and remember the bad. The memories will remain, but the negative emotions will fade with time. From the outside, it seems pretty stupid. Everyone drowns their sorrows in their own way. But it will seem like nonsense until you find yourself behind the wheel of a car, eager to floor the gas, heedless of the consequences. I thought it was stupid too, until I found myself behind the wheel. And that's a completely different story. Three things saved my situation. I didn't have a real car or a driver's license. But I did have a game console, a steering wheel with pedals and a gear knob, and a racing simulator which allowed me to unwind. It wasn't a substitute for real speed, but it was enough to calm me down, at least for a while. It was the only way I could release my emotions. There was no danger of death. There was only one thing: the desire to run lap after lap, improving my time with each crossing of the finish line. The engine's howl was intoxicating. The higher the revs, the quieter it became inside me. Every click of the gearbox momentarily drowned out the chaos in my head. Every braking before a turn relieved the tension, and every acceleration gave me strength and excitement for the race. A race with myself. A race with fear. I won. And although I didn't feel the joy of victory at the finish line, I felt better. The pain inside was still there, but the knowledge that this wasn't the end and that things would only get better gave me strength and comfort. But that's not what's scary. The scary question is, what if I'd had both a car and a driver's license that day? Well, I have an answer to that question. Only I wasn't the one who experienced that situation. For some people, the line between feeling alive and wanting to disappear becomes dangerously thin. Just to add some context, I'm a 23-year-old guy and I love dangerous and extreme things. And also, I have depression. I have been riding bikes since I was 19. I rode without permission for 1.5 years. I earned my permission in 2022 and till this day I ride and love bikes. I never felt fear of having a crash or cared about my physical integrity, not even when my depression wasn't too heavy. Also, I had a lot of confidence, usually breaking traffic laws like speeding up, dangerous overtakes, and going over roundabouts. I had a crash in 2024, and it calmed me a little for some time, but my depressive state in 2025 increased and I began to speed up again. I loved to speed up during bad days. Days when you were so angry that you wanted to break something, but you can't. You want to scream, push, destroy, but you can't. My way of putting it out was with my bike. I would go to a specific street which is straight, but sometimes it does have a lot of traffic and I would accelerate. 80 kilometers an hour, 110. I did a lot of illegal overtakes, didn't slow down because of speed bumps. I basically just flew by them. The feeling was, I'm alive here, now. It's the same feeling after you end a sparring or when you are doing something that feels great. And velocity is a devil. When you are at 80, you want to go 90 and then 100. It's like a voice that calls your name, but it does feel good. For me, some days it was better than having an orgasm. And after that, I would come back home a lot better, but it was temporarily. And no, I did not care if I was about to die. The only thing I took care of was not harming others. But about myself losing control of the bike or crashing into a tree, I never felt fear. In reality, some days I wanted to end it all. I was more worried about my bike than for myself. But it was totally depression talking. Now I am taking my pills and going to therapy twice a week. I'm feeling a lot better and never did it again. And that was not the point that I brought into the therapy to solve. I just quoted it once and she said that was depression walking. I think that's it. Do not speed up, you will waste an entire life because of a feeling seconds of pleasure and you will be buried in a closed coffin. It's not worth it. But sometimes the most dangerous part isn't the speed itself. I came back to the USA after being trapped for more than a year in South America due to the pandemic in 2020. When I left the States, I left my home, my pet, my friends, and my girlfriend for an assignment that shouldn't last more than a couple weeks. But everything turned so wrong, so fast. Before leaving, I commissioned a Shelby GT500 Super Snake to Shelby American. The car arrived to my domicile while I was out. I entirely forgot about that thing by the time I had returned. I saved for 2 years to get that car, but it didn't matter. Aside from the horrors that I shall not speak during my travels, then it was what I found when I came back home. That my friends were no longer close to me. If they were gone weeks, months, years, I would still cherish them, remember them as they never left. But that didn't happen to me. They blamed me for leaving. It's been 2 years, Max, has told me, who used to be my first and best friend, not a stranger that I never recognized. I was so incredibly alone, forgotten, discarded. I had to feel something different, and so I took the keys of my Shelby for a ride through the I-95. It was late in the night, not a single other vehicle on site. Found some other people wanted to race, from Civic Rises to a couple of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. In other circumstances I would refrain myself, but I didn't hate my used-to-be friends. I hated myself, and hate is quite the catalyst for a lot of bad decisions. Aboard a supercharged missile of 800 plus horsepower with a gated manual trans, I raced for hours and hours until the sun was starting to come up. When you see life at 8,000 RPMs and 140 plus miles per hour, it's like everything else around you stands still. Not only your body, but your senses. Your thinking go by the speed of your car, your heart sinking with the engine's vibration. It gives you a sense of harmony to some degree. I didn't feel that, but I got the closure that I needed. My friends were gone, and I cried, still gripping the steering wheel until my fingers got numb. As I started to lose my grip, I realized that in the same fashion I would need to let them go, as they let me go. It didn't give me the peace that I needed, not that I had time to think about it either. Getting out of the gas station heading home, waiting on the stoplight close the exit of the interstate, a semi-truck crashed me at 100 plus miles per hour. Only reason why I'm alive is because of the roll cage and the sparkle harness. Otherwise, well, I was unconscious for 9 days. When I woke, I was in the hospital with a migraine that I can only describe as a hangover after 2 large bottles of vodka and a really bad bar fight. Wasn't so bad because next to me it was my girlfriend. She stayed by my side the whole time with no promises of my survival. She was... no. She is the only person who never let me down, who never gave up on me. I finally had my answer. And I'm not alone anymore. Sure, my poor Shelby went to another life, didn't even have 1,000 miles on the clock, but I got something else to replace it. Never forget, guys, we live as we learn. Value your life and always wear your seatbelt.
Doesn't matter what I find. I don't know too much, that's for certain. But I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't know where it will go for me, why the slug has disappeared. Where we land was never where we thought. I'm not moving aimlessly, and time is not a threat for me. I won't fight the fears you never fought. I
In pursuit of comfort, we try to drown out the inner emptiness with outside noise. The louder the howl, the calmer we become. But is it worth it? Is it worth risking your life for a few minutes of peace? Everyone has their own answer. But the truth is, speed doesn't heal pain, only makes it invisible for a while as the tachometer needle climbs higher. And sometimes, the consequences of the silence are heard by everyone around. And how much depends only on you. Remember, the road does not forgive doubts, and metal cannot sympathize. One wrong decision can be irreversible, and then this deafening silence will become eternal.